There's a secret to getting better at anything you're learning, and it has nothing to do with your technical skills. I really like this quote by some wise man. It goes something like this: train the eye and the hand will follow. This means that in order to get something as visually heavy as animating, you first need to train your eye to be able to see what looks good and why before you can actually recreate it. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 best ways to not only train your eye, but also create a visual library so that you can pull from it whenever you need. Don't worry, it's going to be fun. Watch lots of good animations, but also some bad ones. Good animation is fairly easy to come by. Just watch anything from Sony, Disney, Pixar, Illumination, SPA Studios, and DreamWorks. And even if you don't like the story, you know that the animation is going to be good. There's going to be appealing expressions, great posing, believable acting, accurate lip sync, and a strong sense of timing. If you do enough of that, and then you go and watch something lower quality, something like preschool shows, you'll be able to catch all that is wrong with it. You'll also be able to tell what is not working with your own shot, because your bar for what is good is going to be so much higher now, and you have a better understanding of what a good animation is. If you remember the quote from the beginning of the video, your eye needs to be ahead of the game for you to even have a chance of being better. Once you can see what isn't working, the rest is just getting your technical skills up to par, which you can do through practice. But the first step is to be able to see what isn't working. Otherwise, you'll be stuck at the same level regardless of practice. Watch lots of good live action shows and films. Try and pick ones with really good actors. Cillian Murphy, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Kate Winslet, Jack Nicholson, or critically acclaimed movies like Forrest Gump, Godfather, Pulp Fiction, Parasite, Inception, and Jaws. There's a reason why they're praised. You can find the top 100 best movies and study the acting choices both in very mundane and in very extreme scenes. How the characters choose to react in different situations, and also how characters react based on their different personalities. Even pay attention to everyday life situations, sitting in the park or sitting at a busy appointment by the doctors. Everything in real life can also be a great opportunity for you to build your visual library. Draw. Might not be for everyone, and you don't need to draw to be a 3D animator, but knowing how to draw can actually help immensely with being an animator, and I'll tell you why. Figure drawing will help you understand lines of action and weight, both of which are very important in animation. You can even grab model sheets and redraw them to create a visual library of different expressions and how various areas of the face get affected. Doing it will help you remember more than just looking at it. Shoot and follow references. Getting up and actually acting out the scenes that you want to animate will give you a much more natural result. Your body knows if you're forcing a performance, and in the end, it'll end up looking really awkward and weird. Watching your references back after you create them is a really fast way to tell if the animation is going to work, because if it doesn't look good in the reference stage, it's not going to look good once you animate it. And you won't have to find out after weeks of animating that it's not working. You can just look at the reference. So make sure your reference game is on point. Studying references will help you understand the physicality of the movement. How raising your arm affects your shoulder, your chest, and everything else in the chain that follows. You'll slowly internalize these principles and start applying them to your animation automatically over time. Watch animation analyses. These will help you understand what animators find interesting about other people's work. When you're a beginner, it's hard to know what you look for, so watching an animator analyze a shot, it can help you point in the right direction to see what they consider good, what they consider bad. JD has a whole series on this. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel in the description. There's also frame-by-frame animation. They share a lot of useful resources as well. I myself have some animation analysis videos as well, which I've done in the past, and I'm planning to do a lot more in the future. So make sure to hit that sub button, the bell button, to stay notified of future videos coming. I know most people are allergic to hearing that, but I swear saying it actually helps. So please make sure to subscribe to not miss those future videos. To animate, we have lessons on shooting and analyzing references, creating a backstory in your work, how to give your characters personality, and about 100 other video lessons. and access to movie quality rigs, custom-made dialogues you can animate to, and a private community and forum where no question goes unanswered. So if you're looking to truly take your animation skills to the next level with the help of a well thought out curriculum and the support of instructors and other students, definitely check out toanimate.ca and check out all the goodies you can get instant access to. Frame by frame, your favorite animated shots. Once you watch someone else analyze a video, you can try and do it yourself. You can even go on YouTube, find your favorite shot, and use the comma and the period key to go back and forth frame by frame through the shot. To make analyzing easier, here's a list of stuff that you can keep track of when you're analyzing. The arcs, squash and stretches, drag, interesting smears that you find, how spacing works on really snappy animation, how they animate blinks, and mouth shapes for really fast lip sync. You'll notice when there's really fast lip sync, it's usually very simplified and only certain poses are chosen. You don't have every single phenome being actually animated, because otherwise the mouth on your character will end up looking like a motorboat just going, you know, so it's not gonna look good. It's usually very simplified and only a couple of the phenomes are chosen, but it still works and it still looks good when you watch it real time. So analyzing those clips frame by frame will help you understand how that's done. Flip your work. Every frame needs to look appealing. Now, appealing doesn't mean pretty, because you can have shots that look appealing, but it doesn't look pretty. But just like in drawing, it helps to actually flip your work to make sure that your character isn't falling over when you flip them, or that the face doesn't look weird. Show your work to others, artists and non-artists. Getting a fresh pair of eyes to look at your work is very valuable, because the longer you work on something, the more blind you become to it. And you become a lot more attached because you spend so much time on it. And so it gets harder to kind of admit that something isn't working or that it needs to be changed. Or the opposite. Sometimes we look at it for so long and we know every little detail and we think it sucks, but when someone else watches it, they're like, oh my god, this is so good, but you just can't see it anymore because you're focused on the little details. Artists will be able to give you a more detailed feedback on what specifically isn't working, but non-artists can tell you in more generic terms, saying, oh, the performance feels off, or this feels weird, this doesn't look right. Both are very valuable, and you should really consider both and not take one's opinion over the other. Because when you're animating on a show, you're animating for non-animators usually, so their feedback can actually be really helpful about how your shot feels. Don't ask your mom how the shot looks, because she'll probably say she loves it no matter how it looks. Take a break and don't look at your work for a while. Stepping away from animating for a couple of days and then coming back to it, it'll give you a nice fresh pair of eyes, and you'll notice stuff that you didn't notice before. Write them down right away before you go blind to it again and actually do those notes. Practice a lot. You won't be able to train your eyes in a week or a month. It will take years of practice for you to actually get better, but you will get better. If you've ever seen those artists posting their progress from when they were kids to where they are now, you see that they actually progressed significantly from when they were kids. But every year you can see that the pieces get better and better and better to where they are now. Not only were they getting technically better, but they were getting more creative and more complex, and the same thing will happen to your animations over the years. Just keep training your eyes in all the ways we mentioned and you will get better. Now, one area on the face when animating that usually gets overlooked but can make a huge impact on your animation is actually the brows. But not to worry, I've uploaded our full To Animate lecture on brows, which you can check out right here.